In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we'll celebrate the centennial of the Falmouth Police Department, visit with longtime Falmouth Garden Club members as their group marks a milestone in their history, and visit the annual Rotary Club of Falmouth Labor Day Crafts Fair. All this and much more in this edition of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm your host, Michael Kasparian. During his weekly Friday video briefings, Falmouth health agent Scott McGann reported that the level of new COVID-19 infections per 100,000 cases is considered moderate in Falmouth, using the CDC's rating levels. With the recent increase in transmission throughout the Cape and the Commonwealth, the state is requiring that masks be worn indoors for all students and staff as schools reopen this fall, and suggests that they be worn for all residents when they can't socially distance. You can view Scott McGann's weekly video briefings on FCTV Government Channel 15, our Facebook page, and fctv.org. On this September 11th, under a massive American flag, Chief Timothy Smith addressed a spillover crowd at Fire Headquarters Memorial Garden to mark the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. The ceremony opened with a prayer for the victims and their families and friends left behind. Chief Smith concluded the ceremony by urging the community never to forget the innocence of victims and the heroic sacrifices of our first responders. And we will never forget. This October marks the 100th anniversary of the establishment of the Falmouth Police Department. Chief Edward Dunne, a 40-year veteran of the department, reflects on the significance of this centennial for himself, his police force, and the community they are dedicated to serve and protect.
I'm Chief Edward Dunne of the Falmouth Police Department, and today I want to talk about the Falmouth Police Department celebrating 100 years of service to the Falmouth community. The police department was formed in 1921 at a February town meeting, and this year in 2021 has been 100 years of service to this Falmouth community. I've been fortunate to have been with the Falmouth Police Department since the mid-70s when I started as a summer police officer here. So I've seen the department evolve tremendously from that time. Back then we were chasing house party calls. We still have house party calls, but not as many as we used to have. Now we're dealing with things, sad to say, the opioid addiction piece that we have and dealing with mental health. So we've even evolved in that. Our officers had to be trained differently how to deal with those things. You know, we live in the community, our kids go to school in the community, our spouses work in the community. And to be able to help people in a town that you live in, and to be able to help people that do appreciate what you do, just means so much to everybody. It is difficult to put into words sometimes, but we here in the police department do strive every day to give 100% back to the community when we're out, when our officers are on patrol or answering calls and things like that. There's no other profession that I can think of that gives you that feeling that you, whether you're dealing with, whether it's a car crash where you have injured individuals, or an Alzheimer's patient, that person that's is lost in the woods and you're able to find them, it just makes you feel like you've accomplished something. And I can tell you the men and women, including myself, are pleased to be celebrating the 100 years of service to this community.
It's hard to imagine, but before 1921, our town had only 2 constables, one for the day and one for the night. Congratulations to all our town's peace officers, and thanks to Chief Dunn, Jeff Wyman, and Eileen Preston for that story. It's time now for 3 things from Town Hall, FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
This past Monday's Select Board meeting opened in an unusual location, the Ellen Mitchell Bathhouse on Surf Drive. The relaxed setting was in celebration for Beach Superintendent Bruce Magardo. Magardo is celebrating 58 years working for the town. Magardo's daughter, Jessica, accepted a State House citation on his behalf, and nearly a dozen friends, neighbors, and colleagues went to the microphone to praise Magardo's measure of caring.
This department is a family, and it's made up of beach maintenance laborers and clerks and parking attendants and supervisors, and we come together for this brief moment, which can be a grueling tourist season on Cape Cod, but we show up with a smile, and we are the ambassadors of Falmouth. And every year, his most important message to all of us was that you are the face of Falmouth, you represent the town. We are here as a community service to keep people safe and allow them to have a fun, memorable experience here.
When you hear him talk about the staff, the lifeguards, he talks about them the way people talk about their own children. Just an adoration, and his goal is not to just have the beaches be safe and enjoyed, but also to have those lifeguards go off and take some lessons from the summers that they spend here. And I think he's just a consummate teacher and coach, and he's left his mark.
Upon reconvening at Town Hall, the board heard from Town Council Frank Duffy about a new proposal from the State Attorney General, which would allow members of town boards and committees to participate remotely when their committee is meeting at Town Hall. The board voted to adopt this new option in hopes it would make participating in boards and committees more convenient for civic-minded volunteers.
In those instances where you have a member of a board or a committee who's unable to participate physically, they can do so remotely. Now, this policy does not apply to the public. That's a separate issue. This is not a hybrid meeting or anything like that. This is a situation to allow remote participation by a member under the strict circumstances.
And in anticipation of an upcoming petition article for town meeting, the board discussed the possibility of radar feedback signs on Woods Hole Road in an effort to decrease speeding. Director of Public Works Peter McConerty explained that should the article pass, the town would still need the approval of the Massachusetts Department of Transportation.
Just for a comparison, Public Works recently installed some of these rapid flash and the speed radar feedback signs on Route 151. Mm-hmm. So we put 6 of them up there. They work well. Mm-hmm. At some points, though, they do need maintenance. The boards do burn out on them, and they do need repair periodically. But that'll be a similar design to what we'd be looking at. Solar power. Would be looking at something that it's open to the southern horizon, because that's where the photovoltaic board would be pointing towards. But there's plenty of areas on Woods Hole Road that would be able to. So we'd be looking to set it off the road, approximately 8 to 10 feet off the road. So it doesn't get hit by snow plows. It doesn't get hit by, when there's slush in the roads, it's not getting knocked over and getting hit in the signs.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll visit with some longtime Falmouth Garden Club members as the group celebrates its 90th anniversary. Stay with us.
We have an unusual request. Close your eyes and try to imagine being outside for days last winter without a wallet or a working phone. You're a bone-chilling cold. You wonder where you will wash. Use a toilet or get your next meal. How will you get to work, address your health issues, or fill out an online application? You have just envisioned the life of someone experiencing homelessness in Falmouth. It is a lonely and often a hopeless place to be. Belonging to Each Other just finished its 6th season, providing cold weather housing and supportive services to Falmouth individuals. We welcomed 18 men and women to our residential program. They felt safe in the midst of a pandemic. We provided simple things: a house with heat, a bed, a place to shower, a working phone and computer, and someone to guide them to stable housing. Over 6 seasons, we housed 157 people. Roughly 85% went to stable housing by the end of each season. All this was possible because of the generosity and loving kindness of the Falmouth community and our volunteers. It's amazing to see people evolve. They gradually move from beat up and defeated to encouraged, hopeful, and grateful. These are some of their own words. I originally was just happy to have a safe place, but it was a lot more than that. With a lot of help from my caseworker, I was able to save money and start to rebuild my credit, which is something I struggled with. I now can see the light at the end of the tunnel. This program allows me to have a fresh start away from an abusive relationship. The volunteers are wonderful. I'm grateful for stable housing so that I can get a job. The computer allows me to do my classes and my Zoom counseling. It just feels nice to feel like a regular person again. So now our thoughts turn to our 7th season. Success depends on the housing we rent, the volunteers who commit, and available funding. If you're interested in knowing more about us, contact us as shown on your screen. So thank you, Falmouth, for all you did for our neighbors experiencing homelessness. Truly, we do belong to each other.
Welcome back. The Falmouth Garden Club was founded 90 years ago, and its goals today are to encourage the study of and interest in gardening and horticulture, to aid in the protection and conservation of our natural resources, and to assist in the beautification of Falmouth. We visited with 2 longtime club members at the Museums on the Green, the site of one of their many beautification projects.
So we're sitting here at the site of the Historical Society, which is so appropriate because our history and theirs is woven together over the past 90 years. Almost our very first act was to partner with the Historical Society in the planting of the Colonial Garden, which remains here today, and we garden here every week during the growing season.
Well, I started in 1977. But before that, I became involved, sort of, because my husband, Arthur Calfee, was asked to clear the land back here because the Garden Club was going to plant for the Historical Society these wonderful back gardens. And they were already doing the herb garden and the colonial garden. And so I sort of knew about their involvement within the town for conservation and to improve the beauty of our town. So I joined, and it's the best thing I ever did. The Garden Club movement in the United States is huge, not just for vegetables and corn and everything we think about as Middle America, but every little town has some gardening efforts, and people come forth and they work on their spare time to make their town more beautiful. And I honestly think that Falmouth is one of the nicest places to live because it is beautiful. And a lot of that is because of the Falmouth Garden Club.
There is such a spirit of community, both toward the community and within the community, with one another. The commitment to conservation, ecology, environmental science.
Young people working with the school children, making sure the public knows how important trees are through Arbor Day, placing decorations on trays during holidays for the Meals on Wheels program, taking care of the bus station gardens there, the window boxes, the cupola garden there by Mullen Hall, the 3 gardens or 4 gardens here, the Michael Walsh Rambling Garden.
Right.
Goes on and on.
Those things have been going on so long. We've always had a commitment to Arbor Day. We have in our budget money for Arbor Day. So this year, we wanted to do something for Arbor Day, and Farming Falmouth was looking to plant an orchard. And we got involved with them. We raised enough money to commemorate our 90th anniversary with the planting of pollinator gardens, because pollination is so important to orchards.
Every growing thing.
Every growing thing, right. The 11 women who gathered and founded the Garden Club originally in 1931 came together around the love of growing flowers and gardens. And that is still what holds people together. And it transcends age, it transcends gender, it transcends community status. It really is a universal appeal that draws us together.
Education is there for you. If you want to learn about garden, come and see us. We would love to have you come and visit, and would love to meet you. And we're really nice people.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll go shopping at the annual Rotary Club of Falmouth Crafts Fair. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. I'd like to introduce you to STEAM Plus literacy programs by Treasure Time Online. We are now celebrating a year of stories and activities with 50 books to represent the seasons and other topics. STEAM is for science, technology, engineering, art, and math, and Plus is for social, emotional development, getting along with others, feelings, bullying, shyness, isolation, and all of the other issues that confront school-aged children in these difficult times. In addition to each monthly series of read aloud books, there are activities, songs, and games to go along with them. Can you waddle like a duck and sing a duck song? Or can you curl up into a little ball like a seed and grow into a big tree and wave your arms in the air? In March, we made gingerbread cookies with Ariana. And this July, we had a parade down the Memorial Walkway at the Falmouth Public Library. Check the Enterprise and watch us on FCTV. You can also find and like our Facebook page, the Treasure Time Storybook Theater, and on YouTube under Mrs. Treasure Storytime. Or our website is www.treasuretime.org. Good to see everybody.
We had a lot of fun at last year's FCTV Rotary auction, didn't we?
I had a blast. It was amazing. I could not believe all the incredible items that were up for bid and got purchased, of course.
And it was fun. We should do it again.
I want to do it again. When do you want to do it?
I am free Sunday, October 3rd. How about you?
October 3rd. Well, I want to be watching the game that night. The Bucks are in town to play the Patriots at Foxborough. That's at 8 o'clock.
But that's after. So if we do the auction before that, from like 4 to 8,
Okay.
then you'll be ready for your game.
I think that's amazing.
Okay, let's do it.
Well, how about the people who are going to be tailgating? How are they going to
Well,
participate?
you know what? They can pre-bid online, and they can even set their maximum bid for the items they want, and then they'll just get a ping notification when they've been outbid or when they've won their item.
So they could be actually tailgating, beer in hand, hamburger in the other, ping, now I got to keep bidding, and they can win that item and then go to the game
Exactly.
with this cool item in hand.
Yes. Isn't
Count
that
me in.
amazing? It's so convenient. It's the FCTV Rotary auction.
Join us. Welcome back to Falmouth in Focus. The Rotary Club of Falmouth recently held its 21st annual crafts fair at Marine Park at Falmouth Harbor. Proceeds from the fair benefit the Rotary Scholarship Fund and their philanthropy fund, which gives to other nonprofit organizations throughout the community. Let's take a look.
Hi there, I'm Adrienne Bauman with the Rotary Club of Falmouth, and we're here at our 21st annual Rotary Club of Falmouth Craft Fair on Falmouth Harbor. The Rotary Club is a service organization, so we provide volunteer services throughout the town as well as partner with other nonprofit organizations to get things done. What we've been working on most recently are the outdoor learning spaces among Falmouth public schools. So a lot of the money being raised throughout all of our efforts is going to support getting those outdoor tents and learning spaces put up in our Falmouth public schools. So I am here with Rotary Club of Falmouth member Rudy Hunter. Rudy is the chairperson of our annual craft fair. So Rudy, what can you tell us about the history of this craft fair?
Well, it's been going on for 21 years. And we began over at the fields where they have the fair, the big Barnstable Fair. For 5 years, and then we came over here. So we've been here for about 15 or 16 years. And it's been a great 15 or 16 years ride, and I've had the honor of being chairman of this thing for about 15 years. It's one of if not the biggest moneymaker. It's and has been used for all of the charitable projects and scholarships that we do as a club, and that's notwithstanding there's other events that we use to support all of the charitable work that we do. We have a lot of local bands and our music and our dance studios that also perform for us over the years, and we're very grateful to these civic-minded people for taking the time to help us on all of this.
There are so many creative artisans that come from all over New England to be at this craft fair, so it's an incredible opportunity to buy one-of-a-kind items for yourself or your loved ones, to support the Rotary Club of Falmouth at the same time, and to enjoy a beautiful weekend on Falmouth Harbor.
For more information or getting involved with Falmouth Rotary, visit their website at falmouth.rotary.com. Thanks to Bob Fenstermaker and Anthony Sedera for that coverage. Falmouth High School had its first varsity football home game of the season on September 9th, going up against the Plymouth North Eagles. Here's more about the first regular season game since school has returned to full session.
Opting to receive the kickoff, the Clippers were very strong on their opening drive. 3 first downs at the Plymouth North on the 43, and then Giovanni took a huge grab in traffic to the 17. Cooper Young brought it in with a 15-yard sweep for 6 points. Plymouth North had an excellent return off of the kickoff, but struggled to capitalize and didn't score in the first. Moving on to a 6-0 first quarter, Plymouth North finally got their routine together as they managed to capitalize on a long pass, and then Dallas Murphy with a 3-yard keeper puts North on board with 7:42 left in the half, tied at 6. Lope sideballing the option pass and passes way downfield to Gadbury, who's wide open and goes 53 yards for a touchdown down the middle. Jumping ahead to the third quarter, Plymouth North on a 4th and 10, Murphy hits Hiller down the seam for 16 yards. Plymouth North took the lead with 10:08 in the fourth off a great pass from Murphy to find Kearney cutting the goal line. Unfortunately, the Clippers weren't able to turn it around. Plymouth North beat the Clippers 14-18 in their first game.
Thanks to Ryan Weber for that report. FCTV wants to remind you that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone. We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us. Email us your photos and videos, or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors. We leave you now with the sights and sounds from sunset at Old Silver Beach. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.